This is still figuring tech out.
So Joy and Chinaza, I think I want to start this with like a question as to, and the question is very simple. When was the last time you actually read a job description, and how did you feel about it? So I think let me start with Joy.
I think last 3 weeks, and I basically the first thing I looked at was basically the company and the requirements straight up,
Okay.
and I saw that I almost checked all the boxes, and
Ooh.
that led me to
Yeah.
apply.
Nice.
Yeah.
So was it like what role like was the job description about? Was it like for a specific role? Was it more for like a just a general cybersecurity analyst
The
or
security operations,
okay?
yeah. So basically an L2. Well,
Mm-hmm.
L2, yeah, but yeah.
Nice.
So,
Um, so for you, it was the last 3 weeks. You saw
mm,
a job description for security operations. There's a SOC analyst, right?
mm,
Level two, and you felt like you checked most of the boxes.
mm.
Okay, that's nice. Chinaza, when was the last time you saw a job description, and how did it make you
Well,
feel?
I'm going to respond to this question in two ways.
Okay.
So I saw last time a month ago. First job description I saw was for a SOC analyst, L2 as well. Well, I checked almost all the boxes, but this brings me to the next response, which was when I checked for a security engineering job description, which is an area in cybersecurity I'm trying to
Yeah.
pivot to. And I checked like 3 out of 10. But yeah, that didn't make me feel bad at all. It just made me feel like I had so much to learn and so much midnight candles to burn to get myself to a certain level of proficiency so I could apply for those roles. So that's
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, like, cause the thing is, I was going to like, cause I was just thinking about something else while you guys were talking, which is, do we even feel generally that these job descriptions are a proper representation of what you actually get to do in the role? Because like I've seen people talk about how like like HRs or people that are recruiting, probably people that put out the job descriptions probably do not even know anything about the role, and then they just copy paste the thing where it's like, okay, you need like a junior level, maybe SOC analyst, for instance, or whatever it is. And then there's a general popular job description, and you can just control A, control C, control V, and
And you have a
and,
JD.
and you have a JD, right? So, based on your experiences, do you think that it's kind of like a proper representation of what you get to do in the role itself?
Short answer,
No.
no.
Yeah.
Long answer, no.
Okay.
Because I've had experiences where the JD says something,
Yeah.
and then when you eventually get into the role, you're seeing a whole new level of what you're doing. So let's take, for instance, you see a JD for an L1 cybersecurity analyst role.
Uh-huh.
We all know that that's just basic analysis, and then you triage to L2 and all. But then you get in and you are now you be sauce, now you be pepper. So you're doing your analysis, you're also doing some threat intelligence, you're doing vulnerability management. Sometimes you do compliance as well.
Well, for an
So
L1.
it's for an L1, it's
For those that
unrealistic.
are wondering, L1 is like an entry level.
That's like level one, that's entry level for SOC analysis. And yes, the thing you said about HRs going online, yes, I feel like that's what happens most time, because they just go to one of either ChatGPT and Gemini and say, "Oh, I'm hiring for this role. Give me a JD," and then they copy and paste. And then you're seeing them requesting for an L2 to have CISSP as
Yeah.
a certification. CISSP, for context,
You need how many
is a
years?
certification that you need 5 years of experience or experience across the major domains of cybersecurity to actually hold. And then you're asking this of a level one security analyst. So you see how it doesn't align. That's why my short answer and my long answer are both no. Yeah.
Yeah. Joy, what do you think?
I would say it depends. It
Okay.
depends on the company. If it's a small company, it's a
Yeah.
large company. I feel like if it's a large company, you might get to stick to your
JD.
JD. But if it's
Yeah.
a small one, definitely not. Definitely not. And also, even if it's a large one, it depends on how competent your
Manager.
co-workers
Okay.
are, because sometimes you might get to do what what they should do because
Yeah.
they don't know how to do it, but then you have to do it because you need things to flow. So I think, yeah, and also most times now it's HR that does this recruiting stuff. But
Yeah,
at times, people that need like technical that know what they're looking for,
yeah,
the hiring managers are the probably the superior that you would respond to. Like if you're going for a stock analyst level one, the person that might hire you or might be in the hiring
position.
position might be the SOC manager,
Mm-hmm.
so they actually know what they are looking for. But
Yeah,
these are, I've I've only said this time. It's not a lot, but
yeah,
it's they are there people that hire that know what they are doing, but it's
yeah,
less than the whole HR going to control C control V. Yeah,
yeah.
basically.
Yeah, I mean, like personally, I think I might lean towards. I mean, I agree what Chinaza said, and I agree what Joy said, but I think I would lean a bit towards Joy because I think in more structured organizations, like there's more like a structured process for some of these things, right? And you actually most likely get to work like within your JD, which is your job description. However, with like startup culture, right? And like working with like smaller companies and things like that. I have two sides I think about this, right? First, I think about it from the perspective of like, oh, you don't necessarily get to do what your job description says, and that could be like you know, a downside for someone, right? The fact that you're not necessarily going to work within the actual job description because maybe you're trying to build these skills or you have these skills and you're looking to fine tune these skills and make them better, but you end up not doing that. However, for some people they might look at it as like, oh, yes, I'm not working within this exact JD, but I get to learn about a lot of things faster. So in some companies that are not exactly structured, like some people might say, oh, it's good for me because maybe I'm early in my career. I might get to like learn things about like security engineering, for instance. I might get to learn things about GRC. I might get to learn some of all these other things because there is no full on structure, and then that might play a role in how my career pans out, like in a few years. So yes, I do agree, but I also think that it's like looking for the beauty in the chaos, right? To say okay, like that's something. But on a more general scale, because we've been looking at this from the context of like cybersecurity, right? But now I'm thinking about it for like tech in general, and I don't know, our exposure to other fields might be it's obviously limited, right? But do you think that this thing of like a job description not necessarily representing the role is prevalent in like other fields, right? Say I don't know, people like data analysts, for instance, or all these other roles. Do we? Yes, I mean I know we cannot say for a fact, right? But like if you're browsing job descriptions, you must have come across like some of these other things, or might have a bit of experience to say, oh, does it look like this? Because the reason why I'm asking this is because cybersecurity is notorious for first not even having entry level roles, right? And having roles that it's hard for people to fill in, like entry level people to fill in. But people do not necessarily say the same for like other fields. Like other fields seem to software engineering and all these things seem to be very entry level friendly. So I'd just really like to know what you guys think about it.
I feel like it's not the same.
Okay.
No, sorry. I feel like it's the same. But basically, let me just say a little lower because I have my sister. Um, her friend is a lawyer, so there are times when my sister friend calls and start complaining that she's doing a job
Oh, okay.
that does not
She's a lawyer in
even
Nigeria here.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That does not even that's not that she's not supposed to do, but since her superior gives her, and she just have to do it. So I mean that's like the only example I can give. And
Mm-hmm.
also I think um for startups I would
Yeah.
say that having to do things outside your JD, I mean, is very very good for um career people that are just starting. Like it's very very good. I would not even
Yeah.
yeah, it's very very good because it gives you more room to grow,
Mm-hmm.
more room to and more experience as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that for startups, I mean, you should just know that you're
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
more
For sure. For
basically.
sure.
For
Okay.
context, yeah, startups originally should be companies under 5 years, but I
Yeah.
think in Nigeria we have some startups with like 10 years of experience.
Yeah.
But about this, yeah, I don't have as much insight into other career paths or other fields as much as I do cybersecurity. But I do know that for correct me if I'm wrong, if you're listening, you can always correct me on the dilemma form. I do know that for software engineering, they have things like frameworks and all. So
Mm-hmm.
if you know how to work with a particular framework, let's say for an entry level front end developer, they're asking you if you know how to work with Vue.js and all those kind of things. And if you know how to work with it, there's always an avenue for you to learn
Yeah.
within. Once you get the role, there's an avenue for you to learn from other people. So I think it spans out in other fields, but I don't think it's as intense
As
as
it
it
is in
is in
cybersecurity.
cybersecurity, because I feel like other fields, most of their technical guys are more involved in
Yeah.
the hiring process
Yeah.
as compared to cybersecurity, because we don't have as much cybersecurity, um let's say C levels that are cybersecurity inclined. We can you can have like your
Yeah.
CEO that has been a software developer before,
Yeah.
so he knows what he's looking for. But most times when you're, let's say you're working in a tech company and they just open the unit for a cybersecurity unit,
Yeah.
the chances that your CEO has experience with cybersecurity
It's
and knows
very
what
low.
he's looking for is very low. So that's why I think that's the gap that we're currently facing in cybersecurity. But generally in tech, I don't think it's the same, although it plays out, because we have HR
Mm-hmm.
managers that have little to no technical skills, which is another thing, another gap that we need to cover in tech in general. If your HR is employing for a technical role, they should have some level of experience. Or if they
Yeah.
don't have an experience, they should work hand in hand with somebody that has experience. So you don't let the good professionals go and pick somebody just because he or she checks some of your boxes. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's. I mean, I totally agree, right? And there's this thing that also happens where a lot of like good candidates can get filtered out through like what's it called, ATS, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
get to filter out like a lot of people that. I mean, I have mixed feelings about it, right? Because I feel like that could maybe weed out some very, maybe good people, right, or things like that. But anyway, that's by the way. So apparently, I think I have what like three different job descriptions, right? So I tried to make it more like, oh, first is like an intern, right, and then the other is kind of like, we could say, entry to mid level, right, and then the other is like a senior cybersecurity analyst. So what we're going to do is like, I mean, this is kind of like our case study for this episode, right? So we'll go through the job descriptions, we would, say what we think should be there, what we think should not be there, what we think is easy for like someone at that level to have, right? So I think what we'll do is I would maybe read the entire job description, and then whilst I'm reading it, you can just note what you think should be like, oh, this should be there, this should not be there, and things like that. So anyway, so this first role is a cybersecurity in. So the job title is a cybersecurity intern, and I mean it's an internship, right? So the company said these are actually like actual job descriptions that are like live right now, or like open right now. Sorry, I use live, but like they're open right now. Anyway, the company said they're looking for a motivated individual with foundational cybersecurity knowledge to join out their team as an intern. The role is hands-on. It has a learning first opportunity inside a growing digital solutions company. So that's for context. I mean, clearly it's startup. That's clearly a startup. Anyway, so these are the so it's categorized in three different three or four, I think. So there's the responsibility. So these are the responsibilities: support the team with cybersecurity related tasks and monitoring, learn and apply basic security practices across company systems, flag vulnerabilities or risks as identified, collaborate with the tech team on relevant projects. These are so let's talk about the responsibilities first. So these are the responsibilities. Do we think this sounds very intern friendly?
I mean, if they are paying the intern, probably.
By the way, the
Context.
compensation said this is an unpaid internship. A stipend is provided on in-person visit days. So, okay, the requirements are, so these are the responsibilities. The requirements are basic knowledge of cybersecurity concepts, networks, threats, and data protection, genuine interest in pursuing a career in cybersecurity, strong communication skills, written and verbal, self-motivated and reliable in a remote work environment, and currently studying or recently completed a relevant qualification is a plus. So I feel like the requirements sound very okay.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
But what do you guys think about the responsibilities?
Can you like
Let me refresh the
Yeah.
responsibilities. You support the team with cybersecurity related tasks and monitoring. I think that sounds okay. Learn and apply basic security practices across company systems. I don't know about that. Flag vulnerabilities or risks as identified. I don't know about that. Collaborate with the tech team on relevant projects. I think that's so. What do you guys think?
I mean, why would they give an intern the responsibility to, what was the third one? To
The
monitor?
flag vulnerabilities or risks as
Yeah.
Does he
identified
know what vulnerabilities
or
are?
risks are.
Aside the
So
theoretical content.
Yeah.
let me play devil's advocate for the company, right? What if it's more like saying, as an intern, you're supporting projects and there might be things that might slip up during the course of supporting a project that you think your superiors might not be able to catch. So I don't know if this is what the company means by, if this is what they mean by flag vulnerabilities, I think I agree. In the sense that, Chinaza, just 1 second, in the sense that you're working with a team, right? And you could possibly maybe during the course of you're supporting that team as an intern, right? There might be little things that you feel like, oh, this thing might actually be a risk to the company, but they might not be paying that much attention to it. I think that might pass for an intern. As an intern, you should have done a few courses and you
it
should have a
might
conceptual
pass,
understanding.
but I think just one thing I want you to understand is that
Okay.
there's a clear difference between theoretical knowledge and practical knowledge.
Okay.
Now, what me as a level 2 security analyst can pick from
Okay, yeah. You have a
from a
point.
dashboard is totally different from what an intern that has no practical knowledge would pick. Especially when this intern is coming in to learn your processes. Now, understand this perfectly, guys. With vulnerability management, we have like a general concept around it, but across different companies, it's totally different. They have different softwares, different hardwares, they have their environment is totally different, maybe from what you've seen, different priorities and
Yeah.
all. So I think I'm not saying it shouldn't be there, but maybe it could be rephrased better.
Okay.
Support in vulnerability management processes.
Yeah. You're also learning. That's the
Because
point.
you're learning, you learn by supporting. And I don't think any company should be willing to give an intern full control
Yeah.
over any cybersecurity process. What if something wrong happens? Is he going to take ownership? Because there are things we call risk ownership. Is he the risk owner of those systems? You want him to be the risk owner of your system?
I mean, maybe this might be what they mean, but probably did not phrase it well.
So I think maybe phrasing it better
Yeah.
would work. We're not saying don't give them these responsibilities. We're saying accept that they don't have as much
give them a
knowledge
defined
and give
scope.
them give them a defined scope. There should always be somebody within your team to guide them.
Absolutely.
Give them a defined scope. I feel like when you put it out there that you want somebody with that can handle vulnerability management, threat intelligence, flag vulnerabilities, there are a lot of false positives. Does he even
Absolutely,
know, or does
what
she
that
even know
means.
what false
Or what
positives
they even
are
look like, yeah.
within your organization's context?
Yeah.
So my problem is sometimes these JDs might not reflect exactly what's going on in the company. So it might be like this and it might be easier for the intern within the system. I don't know.
Yeah.
But my idea is
But I mean, it's
on
really
this
the case
it
where
is
it's easier.
it
It's
is
really
rarely
the
the
case
case.
where it's easier, yeah.
So I want every hiring manager listening to this episode to understand that when you have interns, they are there to learn. Give them responsibilities, yes, because how best would you learn if you don't own something? But understand your strengths, understand their weaknesses, and build on their weaknesses. Give them tasks and things that would build on, but don't allow them be the owner of sensitive infrastructure.
Yeah.
Because if something wrong happens there, they are in trouble
Yeah. Absolutely.
when they don't even have the required knowledge to protect that infrastructure. So
Yeah.
that's my opinion about this, and I feel like I was too passionate about it.
I mean, the
yeah.
person that will be in trouble is probably the person that gave them the distance, the
Responsibility.
responsibility.
I mean, like, funny enough, the second point, which is like learn and apply basic security practices across company systems,
System.
is what I'm like kind of like struggling with a bit. I think
Has
maybe
to
their
be.
idea is apply basic security practices across like the course of carrying out your but even at that, six benchmarks. For an- do you know, six,
intern.
I don't
That's like basic. That's like basic.
Chinaza.
That's no. I'm not saying it's basic for interns. I'm saying no. I'm not. It's not basic for interns. Six benchmarks, no.
Okay.
But that's like when they're talking about basic guidelines to harden company systems. Most cybersecurity companies think along the lines
Not even they're not
of
saying harden. They're saying learn and apply basic security practices across company systems. You learn and
it's.
you apply.
I feel like that's too vague.
Yeah.
It's very vague. Exactly.
I feel like
It's
that's
very
too vague. And
yeah.
that's another thing. I feel like more context should be given to responsibilities. So they know what they are getting into. If they know mentally that they are not ready for it, they'll just tap out.
Yeah.
So more context would be appreciated.
So our conclusion is, first of all, more context, right? And secondly would be to allow room for interns to learn, right? And the point of an internship is to learn and to grow and
Yeah,
fine
and
tune your
don't give
skills.
major responsibilities to interns.
Yeah. Okay. That was nice. So the second job description is kind of like a entry to mid-level SOC analyst, right? So I mean, I think you guys would be very interested in this one. But anyway, for context, this just has responsibilities and qualification,
Okay.
right? So the overview is, the company is saying was seeking a proactive and detailed oriented security operations center analyst to join our SOC team. As a frontline defender, you will play a critical role in monitoring, analyzing, and triaging security events to ensure rapid detection and escalation of threats. This position is vital to maintaining our strong cybersecurity posture and enabling fast, effective incident response across diverse client environments.
Are you laughing?
I'm laughing because I feel like it's very like the responsibilities and qualifications should sound very interesting from the context the company is giving, because it's already giving like
Do you
this is
know
a
what they're
very
looking
important
for?
role.
Yeah.
It's like probably fast paced. Like role is very key to But anyway, so yeah, before the responsibilities, the SOC analyst will be responsible for real-time monitoring and analysis of security alerts using SIEM platforms, handling initial triage, and escalating confirmed incidents. So I mean, initial triage means like it's
Yeah.
more entry level a little
Yeah.
bit, You would collaborate closely with other SOC team members and stakeholders to ensure continuous situational awareness, adherence to SLAs, and delivery of high quality security services. So now the responsibilities. Um, First of all, continuously monitor and analyze security threats generated by SIEM and other detection platforms. Okay, that sounds good. Perform initial triage and classification of potential security incidents. Sounds good. Escalate validated incidents to higher tier SOC analysts with appropriate documentation and evidence. Sounds good. Execute run books and playbooks for known alert patterns and threat types. What do you guys think? Execute run
right.
books. Execute run books / playbooks.
We'll come back to that. That's responsibility number what?
That's responsibility number 4.
We'll come back to that.
So responsibility number 5, document incident details, timelines, and response actions in the incident tracking system. That sounds okay. Generate, review, and distribute detailed SOC activity and incident response reports. Sounds cool to me.
No.
Generate, review, and distribute detailed SOC activity and incident response reports. That doesn't sound good to you guys.
No, it doesn't to me.
I mean,
And
but
it depends on the context. It depends on the context, yeah.
okay.
What kind of reports are we talking about? Because I
SOC
assume
activity and incident response reports.
okay, so this person reports to somebody. I feel like there's a higher
It was
level.
detailed, yeah.
So why is he distributing? He should just be sending reports to his lines manager
And
at this
the
point.
manager
That will generate the reports for company-wide reporting and the likes.
Okay, yeah.
You get so the
Actually.
reporting shouldn't come from, so long as this person is reporting to a higher level SOC analyst. Company-wide reporting doesn't come from this person.
Because I would imagine this just meant in the context of like their line manager or like somebody that is like they are reporting to, right? But yeah, anyway, still a bit vague. But the responsibility, I think number 7, I think, is collaborate with internal and external teams to resolve security incidents effectively. What do you guys think?
that works.
That works.
That works as a learning curve.
I mean, like you're collaborating with internal and external teams to resolve security incidents effectively. in a way, I even think resolving security incidents is a general collective effort. Generally,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's to everyone on the
yeah, it
security
is, but
team. Actually.
it's majorly the responsibility of level 3.
Yeah.
Majorly, but it's the responsibility of everybody on the team to do that. So that's why I was like,
Yeah. Okay. Follow defined SLAs, escalation paths, and incident handling procedures. What do you
no,
think? Why?
because it might from the company's
Yeah.
point of view, it might be an avenue for this person to learn.
By the way,
But
Chinoza, sorry. By the way, they did not specify
if it was
if they're looking
L1,
for an entry level or they
but,
just
but
like
you are reporting to somebody else.
So
you're
you're most likely-
triaging
yeah,
and
yeah.
sending it to somebody. So you're most likely L1, L2.
yeah,
You are definitely not L3.
yeah, for
About incident handling procedures and escalation paths and all, that's solely
Yeah.
L3.
sure. Okay.
That's solely L3. They might
Even
give. They might
do you
give
think the same
inputs.
about like following defined SLAs? Like, do you think that's
No,
still like L3?
everybody in a team
Exactly.
follows defined SLAs, but
Exactly.
these SLAs have been previously defined by somebody with higher authority.
Yeah, but I mean, they're just following. The responsibility say just follow.
Did the responsibility say just follow?
I mean, okay, follow. Okay, here's it.
Okay.
Follow defined SLAs, escalation paths, and incident handling procedures.
Oh, okay. I think I missed the follow.
Yeah,
I think
so
I
you're
missed the
following,
follow.
yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
no. Then, yes, definitely you should follow. You should. I
Exactly.
missed the follow
Okay,
from.
cool. I mean, largely okay. So the next one is, which is the second to the last one, is contribute to high quality service delivery and client specific
Yeah.
threat mitigation.
That's KPI,
blah, blah, blah.
team
Yeah,
KPI. I know.
that sounds good. Then the last responsibility is ensure seamless handoffs and situational awareness through effective team collaboration. That's
That's perfect.
that's okay. So I think the only one we had an issue
was
with
number
was
four.
number 4, which is execute run books, playbooks for known alert patterns and threat types. So
if you're-
you're majorly
you said
threat
if it's
hunting.
what? Can you repeat that?
L2,
Mm-hmm.
you're majorly threat hunting, so that should be the run book. Should be. I mean, it's basically commands and procedures you need to do when there are some incidents. So I think that's fair.
And if it's an L1, it's an avenue for you to learn how to execute this run books and playbooks. So we're good.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I think I want to rate this
Yeah,
JD.
That's the responsibility.
Yeah, the qualifications
Yeah.
are
What's the
next.
requirement?
No, let's
No, the
rate. Let's
so
rate.
qualifications / requirements. We could look at it like that, like the next one.
Let's go.
So I mean, so largely we think the
The responsibilities are
fairly okay.
They're fairly okay.
I mean, it is.
Although it's still a little bit vague,
Good
but-
for L2, but L1 is too much. If it's L1, it's like too much.
Okay.
But L2, yeah,
Okay.
it's good.
Okay. All right then. So qualifications. So first is 2 to 4 years of experience working in a SOC environment.
That means they're looking for a level 2. You can't be looking for a level 1 requiring
So I mean,
4 years.
based on 2 to 4 years. So based on this, the responsibilities now seem a little bit more
Yeah.
More reasonable,
balanced,
yes.
hands-on experience with SIM tools for event investigation, alert filtering, and role analysis. Strong understanding of cybersecurity principles, threat actors, and common attack techniques. Okay. Familiarity with network protocols and traffic analysis, Windows and Linux logs, endpoint protection, tools, systems hardening, best practices. That was what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Basic proficiency in query languages such as KQL is a plus. Is
Yeah.
a plus.
Yeah.
Awareness of meter or MITRE attack framework and its application to threat detection. I think that's okay.
Yes, yes.
Strong analytical troubleshooting and communication skills. That
Yeah.
flies. Attention to detail and the ability to manage tasks in a high pressure dynamic environment.
Yes.
The way this company is they're highlighting
Yeah.
and the way they're highlighting, fast paced, vital, high
Hits the
pressure.
ground running.
Now, this is very key. Bachelor's in computer science, information technology, cybersecurity, or a related field. What do you guys think?
Definitely.
Do you think this probably rules out some people that do not have a traditional background?
No, I feel like if they have previous experience, even though they come from probably agriculture, but if they
Yeah,
have
yeah,
previous,
they would always- they would
it
still-
still flies.
Okay. Cool. Preferred certifications include. Okay, this is the interesting part. Preferred certifications include Microsoft SC200.
Okay.
I think that's okay.
That's okay.
CompTIA Security Plus.
That's okay.
I think that's okay. CISA Plus.
That's okay
Yeah.
for level 2.
CEH.
Why?
CEH.
No, actually, it's good
CEH.
for a analyst to have like a offensive background.
I have a problem. I don't have a problem with having offensive background. I have a problem with requiring a certification that if you
So
have one of them,
they said
one
they
of
phrased it as preferred certifications include. So
okay,
I don't think
preferred,
it's like a hard
preferred.
rule.
It shouldn't
It's
Okay.
be a hard
preferred.
rule. I don't like seeing ethical hacking in cybersecurity analyst roles. Yes,
Yeah.
it's good for you to have offensive background and offensive knowledge, but the certifications shouldn't be playing out in a blue team role. That's
Cool.
what I
Yeah, yeah,
think. Yeah.
absolutely. That's a blue team rule. Other relevant certifications in incident detection and response. So I think their certifications are not exactly like very.
No, it's not ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think the last two are just basic. Must have completed
What about
compulsory.
compensation?
There's no compensation.
Ah.
Oh, and by the way, a lot of jobs within our demographic, like they do not put up compensation. From what I've seen personally,
Because they don't want you to know now.
they don't really put
Until-
up compensation
until that day.
until you go to negotiate and they realize.
You will not negotiate like 300k below what the budget for the role is. But yeah.
So yeah, I mean the last two is just completed NYSC and have a valid means of identification. But yeah, so I mean largely, what do we think about this?
Is it remote or on-site?
It sounds like
That's
an
definitely
on-site
an on-site
Sounds
role.
like an
That's
on-site
definitely
role.
an on-site role. So I think I would rate it 8. The reason I would rate it 8 is because there's still a lot of vague language in the JD, but overall I think it captures what an L2 should be
Yeah.
doing in a
Typically
SOC.
do.
I'm supposed to
Especially
apply.
if it's an L2 role.
Yeah.
Now, if this was for an L1 role, I will
Yeah,
rate
yeah.
it 2/10 because
Okay.
there are a lot of high level responsibilities that an L1 might not be able to handle. So it depends on what level of cybersecurity analysis it's about. But yeah, overall, I think I'll rate it 8/10, assuming we are rating for an L2 role.
Joy, what do you think?
I support watching us access.
Okay, Joy support. I support what China's. Yeah, I mean, actually, I actually do. So yeah, the final one is a senior cybersecurity analyst. So now this company did not give
Above 5.
they did not give any context of like the organization. They just have a summary of functions and which I kind of would expect. A summary of functions and education experience and skills. So I'll just go through the summary of functions and would say what we think about it. So first is tailoring the same solution to unique infrastructure and business needs. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's detection ruling and all. So that's L3. So yes,
Yeah, that's
goes.
senior. Monitor the overall performance of security systems depicted in Appendix A. So I think
That's about the same.
yeah, that's about the same. So you monitor the overall performance of security systems. Let me just put that. Monitor the overall performance of security systems.
Yeah,
What do we think? Okay.
definitely.
Identity and access management monitoring and alerting. Okay. Endpoint monitoring.
Yeah.
Okay. Constantly oversee and analyze security defenses per on-prem and cloud infrastructure.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Participate in delivery of cybersecurity operations through vulnerability and threat identification, incident detection and response, forensics investigation,
Yeah.
patch and vulnerability management, engage with infrastructure and application teams in mitigation and remediation efforts.
What?
Do you guys want me to
Plenty.
let me read that again. Let me read it slowly this time. Participate in the delivery of cybersecurity operations through vulnerability and threat detection, incident detection and response, forensic investigations,
Okay.
patch and vulnerability management,
Okay.
and then engage with infrastructure and application teams in mitigation and remediation efforts. That
Yes.
last part I totally agree with.
Yes.
Sha. But is there anything we think should not be here for like a senior cybersecurity
No.
analyst? So largely we're good at it, right?
Largely, as a senior cybersecurity analyst,
I
you
thought
must
they don't
have
do it alone,
touched.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Obviously,
of course. Now you'd have your team for sure.
you must have touched all these areas of security operations actually for you to get to level 3. So yes,
Okay.
sounds reasonable.
Cool. So the next one is maintain key metrics that are indicative of the security posture of the
Yeah.
infrastructure. Keep abreast of threat intelligence feeds to stay abreast of industry reports and emerging threats that may affect. I think that sounds okay. Produce executive dashboard security reporting showing actionable insights from IT security monitoring tools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that
No,
flies.
just a download.
Engage By the way, Joyce said it's just to download, so that's very straightforward. Engage with other IT units where applicable to establish and enforce security best practices,
Yes.
protection objectives, and process improvements. That sounds okay.
That sounds very okay.
Now, so the education, experience, and skills required. So this might be the interesting part. So the first is bachelor's degree or a HND in computer science, information technology, or cybersecurity related fields. So I think that flies. Minimum of 7 years experience in cybersecurity with at least 5 years of working as a SOC analyst. What do we think?
For level 3.
Minimum of 7 years. I mean,
Minimum.
they just specified a senior cybersecurity analyst, right? So minimum of 7 years.
Most of them have
bro.
7 years sharp.
Minimum of 7 years. So you're saying like
JD I saw from Google and it was 7 years. And in my head, I'm like, and it's
security
for a
analyst.
senior cybersecurity analyst. 5 to 7.
I think-
You can give it a go and actually excel at this role.
but they required at least 5 years working as a SOC analyst. So like
So let's just say 5 to 7 years, basically. That's what they are
Okay.
saying.
experience with Windows, Linux, Unix
Obviously.
operating systems with a focus on cybersecurity, relevant industry certifications,
Like,
i.e. CISSP, CASP Plus,
okay.
CEH, which Chinaza doesn't like.
No, at this stage, you can.
Okay.
Stage.
GCIH,
Yeah.
GCIA,
Yes.
IA.
then OSCP.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the certifications are like,
Then
you know.
how much would they pay the person?
there is no compensation. They never put compensation. They
no,
never
super
indicate compensation.
Do you know how much this is?
This certification.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's the thing. Okay, so for people that are listening, right, like why this is funny to Joyce, because like a lot of cybersecurity certifications are very expensive.
very
And these are not cheap
expensive.
certifications. And you know, there are so many requirements. First of
I
all,
feel like for
besides-
this role in the Nigerian context, especially shouldn't be getting at less than 1.5 per
Yeah, for
month.
sure.
Yeah.
That
So-
below 1.5 is ridiculous for this
Yeah.
role, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you're managing a lot of processes.
You're managing a
and
lot of
like,
processes, a lot of people. They require a lot of things from you
And
too. So
Exactly. Yeah.
your KPI is going to be crazy.
So the next education experience and skills required is experience with SIM, right? So
Obviously.
bracket ArcSight, EDR, you know, so under the EDR, you know, Falcon CrowdStrike, packet analysis, HIP/NIPS, network monitoring tools, ServiceNow ticketing, web security. Yeah, so that's that. So I mean, that sounds good. Communicates clearly with diverse technical and business owners. I mean,
Yeah.
standard. Familiarity with regulation and frameworks such as
Yeah.
NIST, PCI, ISO, standard.
Yeah.
So please note, the role is demanding and environment is dynamic.
It means shege sing,
The
shege
role-
delivered.
Exactly. The
Dynamic,
role
you might
is
Dynamic.
dynamic.
go off.
Dynamic means today you're in the SOC, tomorrow you're handling compliance.
But yeah, I mean, like
But yeah.
generally, but on a more general note, I think as a senior security
You
analyst,
should have
at
experience
least
with
you
all
have
these
some,
things.
even with governance, with all these other
you
things
should.
already. So I mean, so generally, this seems okay. But I mean, before we wrap up, right? It takes us back to our main point, which is the fact that would you? So let me not say this for the senior, right? Let me say this for more like the L2 SOC person, right? Would you actually get into the role and do these things?
Yeah.
You understand? No, what I mean is like in terms of like, because this is very subjective to the company. Like, if you put out something like this, right? It's to make sure that the person that gets the role actually does those things,
Those
and then you don't
things.
give them like extra or
Extra,
higher
yes.
responsibilities as well. But yeah, so
I think this is like one of the one for the L2 cybersecurity analyst.
Yeah.
That's like one of the most solid
yeah,
JDs I've seen in recent
absolutely, I
times
agree.
because it covers a lot of things and it just gives you an idea of what you're going in there to do. Some of these JDs are so vague that you would not know that you're supposed to do some certain things until you go in and then.
Yeah.
So I think it's very clear for an
Nice.
applicant. Yeah. So
Nice.
if you have the skills, if you have up to 60 to 70% of what they're requiring for,
Oh yeah.
definitely apply for it. If you
Yeah.
have 40%, you can try your luck just for the just for the
For the fun of it,
experience.
yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, I want to, piggyback of what Chinaza said, right? Which is, you don't necessarily, this is not a hard rule, right? Like, you don't necessarily need to sit and say, okay, do I tick all of these boxes, right? If you tick majority of the boxes, like personally, and like Chinaza said, like, it's always encouraged to at least just try. But so on sort of like a closing note, right? I would like to know, like, we've seen these job descriptions. Like, I mean, we just did like a case study on the episode. We've seen job descriptions by ourselves. What do we think for someone that is like listening, right? What would we think are like some of the basic skills that would just apply across board and would put you in a space where at least you would have maybe 50 to 60% of like what these jobs would require? Just like quickly what we think people need to just have. And I'm speaking largely for like entry to mid level, right? Security analysts, for instance, right? What would you think are the things these people just need to know?
Okay, so I think I'm going
Or do you
to
want me to phrase it like security generalists?
not security
So,
generalist. I feel like if you have a solid foundational knowledge of cybersecurity and networking,
okay,
that's one box you should check because
okay,
every role, entry level, level two, requires these things. Now, in context of what we analyzed, I'm going to speak about the security analysis point of view.
yeah,
You should have experience with monitoring, and this is not just looking at screens. This is providing context. So we know that some of you don't have this industry experience, but that's where your personal projects and your personal labs come in. You should be able to correlate from one event to the next what's happening in your environment. That's monitoring. Monitoring is not looking at dashboard. Monitoring is looking at what's on your dashboard and actually creating a story from the dashboard. Oh, okay, this IP was first seen in our environment this day, and then it went silent for a while, and all of a sudden it's up now and it's doing some suspicious. So you know how to coin the story together. So monitoring is one skill you should have. Packet analysis, although it's not mentioned in this JD, but packet analysis is also something you should have.
okay.
So you should be able to look at conversations going on your network.
So that's more networking.
That's
you
what
said.
that's why foundational networking experience is required, because when you see ARP and when you see TCP, and if you don't know what these things mean, how would you actually understand what's going on? So you should be able to read conversations and know what's going on. So it's basically knowing how to interpret what you see. That's one. You could also add some little vulnerability management, TI, MITRE attack framework, just to boost your CV and your portfolio. You could add some of these things, but the basic ones I mentioned: foundational cybersecurity, foundational networking, monitoring in general, this network monitoring, EDRs and the likes, packet analysis, then threat intelligence, MITRE attack, and I think Joy has some more things to add.
Joy, what do
Yeah.
you think?
I would say sometimes some of these tools basically are what you've worked with, but just different interface
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
dashboard. So you see Splunk, Wazoo, they basically do the same thing, just different interfaces. So if you see some same tools that you have not used before, just try to probably just get a free trial to just see how it looks like, so that
Yeah,
you know, like once you have a land an interview, you know what to talk about and basically anything. And also yeah, there are some, probably maybe you take about 60% and the other ones you don't take it before you actually get the interview. Even if you don't get the interview and you try to fill in the gap, I mean, it will still, once you sit another interview, you know that okay,
yeah,
I
I
checked this box.
absolutely. Yeah, we've basically wrapped up, right? But the takeaway I would want anyone to have from this episode is don't be scared of the JD, right? That's kind of like the key, the underlying takeaway, right? Don't be scared of the job description. You know, like Chinaza Andrea said, I mean, definitely you need to prepare to like, prepare yourself, but you don't necessarily need to tick every box, right? In terms of like qualifications and responsibilities and things like that. But in a nutshell, what we're saying is, keep upskilling and, don't be scared of like applying to jobs and, fingers crossed you're able to land the role that you so desire. And on that note, thank you so much for sticking around with us, and hopefully we'll see you whenever we're having our next conversation.
And please, if you have any questions about job descriptions and all, you can always fill out dilemma form and would take our time to go through it and answer your questions.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Don't forget to fill your the dilemma form if you have any questions, and also please follow us on our Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and also rate our podcast. Thank you very much.
Thank you.